Well, our first step in trying to reconstruct the argument is to figure out what the conclusion is. And there are some features that kind of identify or indicate that a conclusion is on its way. There are certain words or phrases that you find in arguments. And let's consider a few of these just to get an idea of things that will help us determine whether whether a certain statement or a certain claim is a conclusion or whether it's a premise. We could imagine, one character on a CSI program looking at the other one saying, his head's detached from his body, therefore he was murdered. Okay, so therefore in this case looks like one of these indicator words, and therefore usually indicates that a conclusion that is what follows this is a conclusion. So that is, he was murdered in this case would be the conclusion. Would say, therefore he was murdered, therefore here comes the conclusion, he was murdered, his head is detached from his body, being the premise. Now, sentences that following these words or phrases are often conclusion. We already have one, therefore. Similarly, hence. Therefore, we had already, I conclude that. So the idea is the sentences that come after these are oftentimes conclusion, and remember, it's not a guarantee. It's not fail-safe. It's not going to happen all the time, but in most cases it will, and sometimes people misspeak and miswrite, so you have to be careful about it. So the sentences coming after these words or phrases are conclusion, and the sentences that are coming before are oftentimes premises. Let's take another example. The fact that you cannot stop smiling when you say that proves that you're lying. Okay, proves that in this case indicates a conclusion, right? You are lying is a conclusion, and you're smiling is the fact that you're smiling is the premise that leads someone to the conclusion that you're lying. This is the kind of guy that you want to play poker with, right? Parts of sentences following these words or phrases, proves that we were going to find there, are often conclusions. We have proves, implies, establishes, shows. Okay, and the parts of sentences that come before these are often premises. Okay, another set of conclusion indicators that it rained today since I planned a picnic. And in cases like this, cases like since, sentences or parts of sentences preceding the following words, like since, are usually the conclusion, right? It rained today since I planned a picnic. That is, I planned a picnic. You might say, therefore, it rained, or I conclude from the fact that I planned a picnic that it was going to rain. You might have a friend that thinks that he or she has terrible luck all the time, so because they plan something, it gets rained out. But other words, like we have like since, follows from the fact that is established by, is implied by, because. So sentences that come before these are usually premises, and the sentences that come sentences that come before these are the conclusions, and these words or phrases usually indicate that premises are coming after them.